G'day gang. Welcome back to the channel. I'm MP Numbers, and you know I appreciate you being here. Today we are doing a surprise mid-week video. We're going off schedule. We're going all kinds of crazy because today, good unknowing to him, friend of the channel, Mark Rosewater, released a Tumblr post with some teasers for Ikoria, I don't know how to say it, the next set coming out. Look, Theros has been great with everything going on in this world. We're all looking forward to the new set and can't wait to get it. So look at this this teaser. I'm going to break it down with my thoughts, but before I do, pause this video, drop down for a second, hit the like button, also jump in those comments and let me know your craziest thought, your craziest expectation, your craziest theory about what's going to be happening on Ikoria. The big thing that's always been talked about is going to be a make your own monsters set, which I thought was kind of cool. Now we know a little bit more, so let's just jump in and break down what he's been saying. Of course, the link to his Tumblr post will be in the description down below, but let's go. Okay, so the first thing Maro tells us is that we're going to see Magic's 7th egg. Now, if you do a quick search on Gatherer for the word egg, there's actually like 16 results, but when you narrow it down to creature type egg, as expected, you only get 6. One of these is from Unglued, the rest are all black border. They mostly have the theme of when this creature dies, create a token that's shared, similar in name, like the dragons that can become a dragon. So we'd expect a similar mechanic here. Like we would expect it to be doing something similar. 3 of the 6 eggs that have been printed are red. There's 1 artifact, 1 blue, and 1 white. So red seems to own the color pie. And I guess statistically it's more likely to be red. I'm expecting a cheap cost egg with with some toughness that when it dies, a new creature is created. Second thing we're told is there's going to be a card with the text 4 or more times this game. Now when I hear this, I'm expecting some kind of janky alt-win con rare that lets you win and doesn't probably do too much for the game otherwise. You can imagine something like, at each end step, if you've lost 5 or more life, return this card to your hand. If you have cast this card 4 or more times, you win the game. I don't know. I'm not a card designer. Let's not use that. But, you get the idea. It's something that, or if you've exiled your graveyard 4 times, you win the game. So it's something that is going to come up. Someone's going to try and build a draft around it one time, and they're going to do terribly. Maybe someone will try and build a constructed ground. I don't think it's going to be a relevant card. I think it's going to be another one of these just weird alt-win cons that give people hope but don't actually do anything. The next thing we know is there's going to be a card with the text total power of 10 or less. This will be a rare, like a bounce spell, maybe a removal spell. Like if you remember the Slaughter the Strong from Rivals. And this will probably be worded like that, but it'll be like a bounce spell that says return up to X creatures with total power 10 or less to their owner's hands. Doesn't seem that exciting. The card's probably good. It's not something that I think is going to blow everything out of the water. I think it's going to be just a solid card that either could bounce a lot of cheap creatures or one big creature. So the next thing is Magic's largest power and toughness granting aura. Now, this was harder than I thought to search for. There's a lot of auras out there. A lot of them grant power and toughness of different levels. The largest I could find was +10/+10, which was Eldrazi Conscription. So I guess this has to be at least 11/11. They could try to be cute and be like it's +1/+17, but the way he's worded that it's the largest power and toughness granting aura, it's probably going to be +11/+11, +12/+12, but it comes to a point where that's overkill unless it also gives evasion, trample, flying, death touch, first strike, something that's going to make it. Otherwise, it's just overkill. Like if I'm paying, there's no difference for most cards paying 4 mana for +4/+4 or paying 15 mana for +15/+15 if they're not giving an additional benefit or having a come and play an effect that has to blow you out of the water. So it'd be interesting to see if that's a card that is going to be relevant, if it's just going to be like a random common that costs 10 and gives +11/+11, and if it's actually going to get played in any formats. Okay, so now we're getting exciting. The next thing is a card with the text X is the number of times this creature has mutated. So we have our first confirmed mechanic, mutate. What is mutate? I don't know. We'll find out on April 2nd, hopefully. I have a feeling though that this set is going to be heavy tribal / creature types matter. So it's possible mutating could just be changing the creature types, which probably not too exciting, but might have some ways to work. Alternatively, you know, I hope it's not just as boring as I hope it's not just like Evolve or what's the other one that was Evolve that came out recently, where it's just pay X and put that many counters on. Like that's cool, but it's not exciting. And I doubt they would just do a functional reprint of a mechanic, like to mutate, put a +1/+1 counter on this creature. No. What could be cool if mutate gave keywords. So, you know, for example, you could play like pay blue and mutate, this creature gets flying, or pay black and mutate, this creature gets death touch. Like that would be cool. You could mutate, maybe they could have one keyword at a time, you activate it once per turn. That would be a cool little mutate ability. Or again, it could obviously be something completely different. It could also be like a polymorph where you exile the top cards of your library until a new creature comes out. Actually, so next thing is Magic's third and fourth card with the reminder text 0 is even. So obviously we've seen two very different cards with this reminder text. The Ashling's Prerogative often requires you to make a choice, and then it depends on what you choose, you know, changes the game. You can do it in your favor, you can deck build around it. The other one, it's a prison card that stops you playing, you know, or stop your opponent playing half their deck, and not quite as good. I definitely prefer to see the choice based where you choose odd or even, and then you get benefits based on what you chose. I think it's just a better design. It allows for more freedom in building, and it isn't just a feel bad card like the Winter Wall kind of was for a lot of people. Nextly we have 3 different cards that have the text different names. This one also doesn't seem particularly unique. Like these cards exist. We know obviously Gifts Ungiven's the big one. And pretty much all of these cards so far refer to searching, like shared summons from M20. I'm guessing and hoping more than anything that there's going to be more variety on this effect. Like rather than just having 3 different cards that search for cards with different names, because that's a bit redundant. Maybe the ability could be like, you know, you add counters to X different creatures with different names. Or an enchantment whenever you attack with X creatures with different names, something. That'd be cool. Like just having different ways that you're having diversity on your board, having more spread of creatures rather than just going for tokens that all have the same name. Yeah. 12 different types of counters, not counting loyalty counters. God, like I hope he's trying to be cute here, and he's included counter spells in his count. So maybe like 3 or 4 counter spells in the set, plus 8 types of counters that you put on cards. 'Cause, like having 12 trackable counters in a limited game, that like limited or even constructed, that's just going to be a pain. Imagine if you get to a point where you need to have 10 plus counters in play, and you have to remember which one's which. I'm sure they won't do that. You know, there might be pop out cards like there was with Exert in Amonkhet, but even then, you know, people don't tend to carry those around a lot, and there's some people carry them, a lot of people don't, and they just use dice and counters. So hopefully it's something that if this counter's on this card, it's obvious what it is. Obviously +1/+1 counters, that's going to be present. Maybe some bigger ones. Back in the day, there was different counters that did different. Like there were times you could put a +2/+2 counter or a +1/+2 counter. They got rid of most of that. Maybe they want to bring it back. I don't know. Little spoiler for one of the next things, but we know foreshadow counters are going to exist. Obviously more on that soon. It's quite possible mutating. The mutate mechanic we talked about would use counters. Like if my thought of maybe mutating and giving keywords, maybe you can put a flying counter to give a creature flying. Maybe you can give a death touch counter to give a creature death touch. Maybe that's what it is. I don't know. It could be the return of poison counters. You know, that's something you could come back and add to the counter count. I don't know what other counters could there be. I'm assuming most of them will be creature based, plus a couple of random ones that go on enchantments or creatures like there have been in the past. But They're trying to. I think they're trying to avoid doing things that only exist in set. Like energy, obviously, a bit of a failure. So I don't think we're going to be seeing an energy style mechanic again. So next. So carrying on from that, a card that says choose a kind of counter at random. I don't even know where to start with this one. I mean, maybe, again, looking at that mutate idea, you have the different counters. Maybe it's possible that each creature in play guaranteed to have a counter on it, right? Maybe each creature will have some kind of counter. Maybe a growth counter, where they're born, they grow up, they're adults, because it's creatures growing. Or merge counters if you're merging two creatures together to make one. I don't know. But then for this card specifically, maybe it's like a red card. So I imagine a red card that says choose a kind of counter at random. This card deals X damage to each creature with that kind of counter. I don't know, because there's going to be 12 types of counters. Like how do you randomize 12 types of counters? I think it's a card that says remove 8 foreshadow counters. All I know, and I'm sure on this one, is that this is going to be a blue-black based mechanic, and I'm not going to play it, and I'm going to hate playing against it. It's going to be something control-y, you know, whenever you play an instant, add a foreshadow counter, remove 8 foreshadow counters to draw 17 cards and win the game guaranteed, because control is OP and everyone loves it too much. I don't know, something like that. It could be that. It could also be, okay, I know it's definitely going to be that, but it could also be, if this is supposed to be the big beast, maybe this is kind of Jurassic Worldy, where creatures get foreshadow counters before they're removed. I don't know. I'm pretty sure it's going to be a control-y blue-black, ridiculous, going to hate it kind of mechanic. I don't know. And the final thing in the list is a cycle that players have been asking for 10 years. Well, 10 years ago was Zendikar. Zendikar Worldwake, Rise of the Eldrazi, is it Rise of the Eldrazi? And Scars of Mirrodin was in 2010 as well. I didn't play this time. This was during my hiatus. I'm really stumped. First I thought the lands, and I kind of looked through the set to see if there's anything that stood out, lands, but then all the land cycles from 10 years ago, 2010, have been completed in later sets, so it's probably not going to be that. I'm going to have to ask you all with some more experience in this one. Maybe you can give me an idea. What do you think this cycle is going to be? Is there something that's, you know, was only printed one of, but should have multiple, like Tarmogoyf? But Tarmogoyf is way too old for that. Maybe, yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think it's going to be? So finally, he's given us some creature types, and he's confirmed that Changeling is not in the set, which is kind of disappointing. I was thinking Changeling might be a theme here. But we've got Dinosaur Turtle. I'm expecting blue-green, big butt creature. We have a hint with some of the arena notes that you know, big butts matter. You know, deal damage with your butt rather than your power. I don't know what they've named it. Basically, is the hint that they've given us here. So maybe this turtle is going to be a big butt creature, blue-green, that's going to allow you to hit with your butt. There's a Shark Beast, which I think, isn't there already a Shark Beast? Because there's an Octo Crab. No, because he's a crab, fish, shark. Anyway, again, probably going to be a blue-green creature. It'll be a bulky creature with the head of a shark. I can't see them doing, like, Gate Crashes. Look at whatever that set that had the Simic in recently was so recent. They just can't do weird mergers in the name of science. There has to be something else going on here. I don't know. Demon Kraken. I mean, obviously it's going to be black. It's going to be blue. It's going to be big. It's going to destroy things. It's going to be cool. Elemental Otter. Elemental Otter is going to be the cutest card ever. It's going to be mono blue. It's going to, I don't know. It's going to be the cute. I haven't even seen the artwork. I don't have no idea what it does. Just based off the creature type, it's going to be the cutest card in the set. 100% MP guarantee. Brushwag. Now, Brushwag, the only acknowledgement I can find of a Brushwag on the entire internet is the magic card Brushwag. So I'm guessing either a reprint or a new version of Brushwag with different stats and different abilities, and I don't know, something crazy, like it just doesn't exist anywhere. Hellion Horror is going to be red, based creature. We've also had Hellions around for a while. It could also be black, because horrors tend to be black. There's going to be a sacrifice effect involved in it, whether it's going to be sacrifice your own creature to make your opponent sacrifice theirs. And a nightmare squirrel. Maro is so excited to tell us he's finally got squirrels into black border. It is happening. It is going to be a standard legal set with a squirrel. Obviously, nightmare squirrel is going to be a black creature. It's going to be pretty unexciting. It's going to be it's going to be a 1/1 for 1 that gives something -1 when it dies. You know, one of those typical cards that very rarely ever see play. Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a very, very exciting card. Alright, so that has been a look at Mark Rosewater's Ikoria teaser. We are still, 2 weeks away from the actual spoilers going live. Can't wait to see what all my fellow YouTubers have got in terms of their spoiler cards, how they're all going to come out, what cool things we're going to see, what cool synergies. And yeah, this set, like, there's still a lot of unknown. Like, it still comes back to that build your own creature thing. Like, are we going to be merging creatures like in unsanctioned? No, whatever the other was, where you could stick the creatures together, or even that mechanic from Shadows over Innistrad where you merge, where you exile them and flip them over, flip cards. I'm hoping they don't do flip cards again. No, I take that back. I like flip cards. I don't like flip cards that have very specific requirements to flip and only have like 2 or 3 in the set. But yeah, look, we'll see what happens. I'm excited. I've really enjoyed Theros. I've really enjoyed most of the sets recently, and they seem to be on a pretty hot streak. So hopefully they can keep it up. As always, guys, make sure you've dropped a like. Make sure you subscribe if you want to see more. Most of my videos are arena-based, but I do like doing these little talking ones now and then. If there's something you want to hear me talk about, let me know in the comments. If you have some crazy thoughts about Ikoria, drop them in the comments. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong, let me know. Find me on Twitter, find me on Facebook, find me wherever you want to find me. I'm in heaps of places. And yeah, I think we're all good to go. I appreciate you hanging out today. Hopefully you've enjoyed this video. Hopefully it's stirred up some thoughts and got you thinking about what might be happening. And for all of those of you who have found yourself in isolation and quarantine, you know, make the best of it. Enjoy your time while you can. And yeah, I'm out. Bye.